Oh, this is a new table.
Yeah, just grab one from IKEA.
It is good.
Right.
IKEA.
IKEA table, you know? Flat pack.
Fat pack. Fat pack. Fat pack. Fat pack.
That's at the Vietnamese IKEA.
Hey, mate. What the heck, mate? Hello, Vietnam. So,
Oh, that's good.
Vietnam number one. Vietnam the best. Vietnam my home. Vietnam my nest.
Oh!
Here we go.
Who taught you that?
Some of the boys.
Some of the boys?
Vietnam.
Do you have Vietnamese friends?
Vietnam boy. One friend. His name is Robin.
Let's go, Robin.
Robin.
Shout out to Robin.
Go ahead.
Does Robin follow us?
No, he doesn't. Unfortunately, he's not really into the politics stuff.
Is he in Vietnam or is he here?
No. He's here. He's a good man. He plays football. He's got these really nice butterfly tattoos on his neck.
Oh, has he?
That's
Are
weird
they,
that you
they
noticed
quite
that.
dainty and pretty.
They're actually quite cool. It's actually quite cool. Like, of all his tattoos, there's
Of all his tattoos, you're admiring all of his tattoos.
What about where are the other ones?
Lower back. Lower back.
I got absolutely. This is a story for you guys. I got absolutely ratioed on the Green Party's Instagram yesterday.
No.
I got totally ratioed. Well, it wasn't that bad, but imagine me. I go on Instagram, and the first reel I see is Green Party selling sweatshirts. This is these green sweatshirts.
Yeah.
This is Green Party on
Are
it.
they ethically made?
Well, I don't know, but my first and they're advertising it and like they're back. We're selling our sweatshirts again, and my first thought was, this feels a little capitalist. So I went and commented, this feels a little capitalist.
Oh.
And
Couldn't control your fingers. You just had.
I just commented on their post, this feels a little capitalist, which is absolutely true, given these guys, berate everything and anything that has anything to do with capitalism.
Yeah.
And then I comment that, and then someone replies and says, "Oh, I hope you're showing the same level of concern for National Axe fundraising." I was like,
Why? They're capitalists.
Well, I was just like,
Literally
be consistent.
yeah. I was like, okay, you're clearly a stupid person, but that's fine. So I got about 20 likes on my comment, which is good. Pretty happy. They got 50.
Oh,
Which is, it's not a bad ratio. No, it wasn't a bad ratio. But then I saw that comment and I was like, 50 likes. And I thought, okay, let me actually go and check how much these sweatshirts cost. So I go on the Green Party website and I'll pre-order. Guess how much a sweatshirt is?
$100.
Higher.
150.
Higher.
150.
No.
$165.
Wow.
I'll pop it on right now. You can put
Are
it
they
on.
made out of Chloe's fallen eyebrows?
Yeah, I don't know.
What thing making me that?
$165 a
Are you
pop.
serious?
Yeah.
And they're probably made in a sweatshop in Vietnam.
If you go on the Green Party, I'll send you the link.
Have you seen that? There's talk of, it was looking like the US will put 12.5% tariffs on New Zealand and Australia. Yeah, because of the possibility of forced labor in our supply chain.
In our supply chain? What, the Americans are talking about forced labor?
Yeah, for
That's
Australian and
rich.
New Zealand goods. No, but just because we've imported. No. So they don't think that we've used forced labor here, but because we've imported everything from Southeast Asia, and then we on-sell it to the US in many cases. They think that there's
Fascinating.
forced labor in the supply
That's
chain.
very sweet.
Well, it's part of the laws they've passed over there. So.
I've got it up, yeah. But have you seen that they're selling also hipster Thunderpant flat front undies?
No. Bro, these are so expensive.
Look what they're selling. Selling underwear. It's like a thing.
Wow.
You want some?
Is it a woman or a man?
Well, they're flat front.
These guys will be the first to talk about how bad capitalism is. Capitalism is about accumulating capital, money. You accumulate a bit of money, you invest it in something, and then you build something that the market might want. This is exactly what they're doing. And I'm all for it. I'm all for that, except for the hypocrisy of, being anti-capitalist.
Man, they got a $72 scarf on there too.
Unreal.
Admittedly, it's
I have nothing against the Green Party necessarily.
Yes, you do.
Necessarily.
You've shown your hand. It's fine.
Yeah, the episode
We're
one.
not front about at Pillar as an organization, politically neutral. As individuals, very biased. Very much. And we're not even all on the same side on a bunch of stuff. So we're happy to admit that. We're not going to hide behind perceived, political neutrality like some other people.
Well, I complimented Mr. Shunan last week, so
yeah, hard out.
Here we go. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I thought I'd just share that
what's
story.
happening in the Greens world. I'm going to Singapore tomorrow.
Oh, flip.
Yeah. Who's probably not going to Singapore? Probably shouldn't go to Singapore. Are the 4 MPs banned from China?
Yeah.
I'm also going to Malaysia. So they shouldn't go there either. But what do we think about this? It was Duncan Webb, Laura McClure,
Maureen Pugh,
and
Laura McClure.
Well, we said it.
David Wilson. David Wilson. Yeah, she's awesome.
David Wilson's NZ first. He's the guy who he came up to us at the airport.
Yeah, nice guy.
So that covers 4 parties: ACT, National Labour, and New Zealand First.
That's right. Yeah.
So
a good spread.
The Greens and
Te Pāti Māori. They go to mainland China.
They're going to throw on the Great Wall again.
I mean,
they're going to go check on this.
To be fair, some of the Green MPs have been quite outspoken about human rights stuff with China.
Really?
I can't remember which ones, but
current Green MPs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This can't just become a green bashing episode. I did see.
Hey, look, it's enough that you're wearing green.
Yeah.
I'm standing in solidarity with our green brethren. Now, anyway, so they get banned. The Chinese embassy, which is the 5th thing in the last 12 months that the Chinese embassy's come out about.
Crazy.
They came out with the letter. They came out about the visit. They came out with saying that they were upset with the SIS and the GCSB report. Now this.
And also a Herald column.
The Herald column.
Yeah.
Kick them out. I'm dead serious. Kick them out.
Dude, the best thing about that, the best or the worst thing about this is that they didn't even want to go public about it.
No, we weren't making any further public comments.
So they just sent that email to parliamentary services. They didn't put it on there publicly. And then Laura was like, I'm going public with this. Screw you guys. Good on her. But the fact that, they're, I don't know, too afraid. I don't think they were afraid. I don't know why they didn't go public with it though.
Because they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Laura's she's standing on business.
Rising star.
She's
on business.
That's it. Because if the Chinese officials had really thought this through, they wouldn't have done it.
No.
It backfires on them. And they think that, this type of control mechanism, right, influence mechanism is going to work here. And it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Because actually, we're pretty bloody minded about stuff.
Yeah,
when we were put,
that's right.
We don't like, New Zealanders don't like being told what to do. That's why Kiwis like react when the Americans like Pete Hegseth said his stuff about New Zealand needing to spend more defense. And Kiwis are like, what? Don't lecture us. We're quite happy to lecture the world about human rights and stuff like that.
Good on us.
And good on us,
You reckon those 4 MPs will do a flotilla to China now? Not let it come.
Slow boat to China. Yeah, that's good.
Honestly, good on them.
Yeah.
And it's funny. So Duncan would care and was like, "Well, if that's the price of doing my job, so be it." He resigned.
Huh?
He doesn't have. He's not going back to Parliament.
He
doesn't really. Committal, but good on him for coming out. But Laura was one who, when pressed on it, she's just got a new electorate.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not apologising for anything. Good on her. She shouldn't. She's like been one of the most consistent voices in Parliament.
Yeah, she's fiery about it.
Good.
We need her.
We need her.
On a lot of issues as well, not just this issue. Like she's been real on top of it.
Yeah.
Rising star.
Laura. She's got a new electorate. So Wigham somewhere.
Oh yeah, I read about this.
I should have.
Yeah.
That's John Anderson's old. John Anderson. John
Anderson.
Travolta.
No.
How many Johns can we know?
John Anderson.
John Kiriakou.
Jim Anderson. What am I saying? Jim Anderson. So he was a Labour MP back in the day, and then started his own party called the Alliance. So
they're still around, the Alliance Party.
Yeah. Registry.
They're not cranking.
Yeah.
So what's next steps here for New Zealand in terms of the China relationship? Because it's pretty clear that China is trying to exert force on us, show us that we can't do what we want to do, and our public officials can't do what they want to do. Where do we actually go from here? Thoughts?
I think which one of us is going to get banned? We need to. I mean, if we haven't already, but we need to.
Us three.
Hope we're not high profile enough yet. But the day we get
they might know.
We're on the lower level ban.
We've had about what was the last time? Yeah, nearly 500 website visits from China.
Yeah.
I think just because we say China a lot on our stuff.
Yeah.
We naturally draw.
It's probably just a lot of Chinese, Kiwi.
Yeah. But yeah, what do we do here in terms of relationship? Like, we obviously need Winston to come out and make a pretty strong.
He's asked him to explain.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is the first step. That's a normal thing to do in this situation.
And then, but they're like, "Oh, we're not doing any further commentary," or did they respond?
No, they haven't responded yet, and I don't think they will. They won't do anything.
They can build a hospital overnight, but can't respond to a question.
Yeah, build a bridge that falls over a week later.
Phil Goff's like, "Leave them alone."
Yeah. See him in Beijing.
Hey.
Was it Beijing? He was over there in China.
Man.
Tom Brash is not surprised, but like, mate, he was probably the most overt in his support for China and his dissing of the US and everything else.
It's all these old white guys who obviously got honeypotted over there that are like, please leave my alone.
And also just the amount of money that's been made through this trade, deal that we've had for 20 years. And all the board seats, right? Brash has sat on heaps of these companies.
On Brash. Look at John Key and Helen over there doing their parade. You know what's crazy? I didn't realize Simon O'Connor pointed this out. It was actually the anniversary of Tiananmen Square massacre yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, so it was the same day.
How timely.
Yeah. It's like people pretend like they didn't happen quite a lot.
I mean, at least they're staying in form, right? They're staying true to form.
Yeah, exactly. Consistency.
Sheesh.
I think if someone came to me and said, what should we do? I would say we need to ask for like a clarity, like what Winston's done.
Yep.
They can't provide it. Give them the marching orders. Say, hey, you've actually got X amount of days to explain this, or you're clearly interfering with our democratic processes and our, democratically elected officials. We don't accept that here in this nation. So you can either pack up your office, and because we're not allowed to recognize the Taiwanese embassy and ambassador, we'll stop recognizing you. We'll send you home. And I know that people will say that was impossible. We could never do that because of the trade relationship and so on and so on. Well, do you want to live on your knees or die on your feet? What are we doing? They're holding a gun to us. You just have to tell them to piss off.
I think. I agree. We could do that, but and there's also some benefit to actually playing it out, because a lot of Kiwis are still very, very in the dark or very skeptical about the US and all that kind of stuff. Yep. And I think it's better that we build up a bit of a catalog here. And every time something happens, we call it out.
Yeah, there's another one.
But yeah. But that way we can show that we're actually the patient ones here, and that it's their impatience, their intolerance in China that is the issue, and it'll show. It'll only kind of help paint that full picture of what a regime like CCP all about.
Well, your blast tomorrow, that was originally an op-ed.
Yeah.
That hopefully, I gave it back to the Herald, but you've tracked over the last, how long would you say? Not even that long, 12 months, 6 months, maybe longer. But all the issues globally of
over the last 12 months. Yeah.
These Chinese operatives.
Yep.
And then now we've got the GCSB and the NZSAS warning that there's front companies who are recruiting, and people might even be unwittingly recruited.
Yep.
But they don't realize that they're being bought into
through
Chinese,
LinkedIn, these various sort of business networking sites, and
it's crazy.
And a lot of like low profile people in civil service, and in the diplomatic corps who could be targeted by CCP agents, or just proxies, people with no official connection to the Chinese government.
But this is what the SIS was talking about around the local election stuff in the handbook that they gave to candidates and local governments.
Yep.
They're like, hey, we're a soft target. We actually have a lot more power than people realize at local government. And so if you were approached by someone who just seems like a good guy and they happen to want to support you, and you should be maybe a little bit cautious with that.
Oh, I think New Zealand is pretty naive in this respect. We're very laid back, very casual, very easygoing, and very trusting. We tend to assume the best of people until there's like absolute evidence in front of us that they're not.
Which is not a bad thing.
Oh no, it's great. It's a great way to live.
Guilty, right?
But it's the advantage of living on a few islands down in the bottom of the South Pacific, well away from any real physical threats, right? With decades and decades of just the benefits of peace, the dividends of peace, right? So all the wars we've ever been involved in are the ones we've gone and volunteered to help out in all over the globe elsewhere, but never down this way. Yeah,
look. Well, what are we doing about it?
I have an idea. We can adopt the FIT bill.
Tell us about that. What is that?
Yeah,
that's a bill I've heard that Pillar New Zealand has written, has drafted, and it actually FIT stands for Foreign Influence Transparency. So it's a regime that essentially establishes a register and tells you who is working for or on behalf of or being directed by foreign forces. And it just embeds a level of transparency within our system. And it might not necessarily be illegal to do these things on behalf of a foreign power, but at least we know, you're working for a Russian company being directed to do political engagement. All right, good to know.
Now we know.
Okay, so frequently asked questions. Do you have to be working directly for a foreign government
No, it doesn't have to be directly a foreign government, but it can be a foreign entity, a foreign organization.
So in the bill, that would be what, foreign principal.
Yes, broadly speaking.
So so it could be a company that has some sort of government stake in it, like China.
Yes.
Not picking on any country in particular, but could be China.
Every Chinese company has government stake in it.
Yeah. So that's interesting, isn't it? That every Chinese registered company.
Yes.
In the US as well, with like what you've talked about, they've got legislation that's fairly similar. So it's not targeting China, but
no,
they're a great case study.
Effectively, like people from any country that are working in that capacity would have to declare this. It's not illegal to
often
do so.
No.
It's just that you have to declare it.
And
but like your customs form, right? Your immigration form when you come into New Zealand.
And the UK have this, and Australia have this, and Americans have this. And you can actually, so I was going through their websites, so their public registers, and I was looking at all these companies. And it's like construction company of Abu Dhabi, being run by the UAE. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's just you just register as a foreign entity, being directed by a foreign government. Cool. But then where it does get valuable is if you have a person who's running for office, whether it's local office or national office, tendering for a contract. Then on this public register, you'll know that John Smith. That's a white name, but that's fine. John Smith has been directed by the Chinese by the Chinese Communist Party. Good to know. We should probably not vote for him.
And this is the important thing, is that you don't have to be from overseas.
That's right. It's not about your ethnicity.
Required to declare this.
Colorblind. Foreign interference is colorblind.
I am color. Yeah, foreign interference is the least racist thing ever.
And the thing is, you don't have to be interfering. You could just be trying to influence lobby in some form.
Influencing. Right? That's why it's the foreign influence transparency.
That's correct.
Not the foreign interference. It's not Mission Impossible stuff, but it's day to day, subtly subverting the democratic norms and systems that we have in New Zealand. Yep. It's just doing things that move the needle just a little bit each day until
and this proposed bill is basically an improvement on existing legislation in other jurisdictions.
I was going to ask
Australia, UK, even the US. We've got in this bill a better version of what they've done.
Would you say it's world leading?
Well, because I would say so. If we can get it passed, right? Will the MPs take it up?
We've got a couple of MPs who are interested, but I would lastly just quickly want to ask before we go into that side of the conversation. So it exists in some forms, but not to the degree that it will actually be effective. At the moment, it's a speed bump. We're trying to create a real deterrent, aren't we? And we've done that by improving on
transparency.
Increased transparency. We've done that by improving on existing legislation, both at home and abroad. We've taken a look around the world. We've had some consultation from the UK, from Australia, people who are involved in the US and China. And we are bringing forward probably the most robust piece of legislation of this nature, more so than our counter-terrorism bills, more so than our other like economic and fiscal sort of framework that's there at the moment, right? Mm-hmm. And this is what it is.
Yep.
So when people ask us, it already exists, or don't people already have to declare that? What's our response to that?
Well, it doesn't exist in New Zealand.
Okay.
So we don't actually have that regime in place.
Right? We have the countering foreign interference law that was passed a year ago
in November.
But that's where it's more obvious criminal activity that's going on.
Yes, that's a criminal offence.
Yeah,
that's a really good way to frame it, eh? Because just because something's not criminal doesn't mean it isn't serving a nefarious purpose in a sense.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And the point there is that with that law that was passed, it's about activity behaviour that is considered criminal, whereas we're talking about just the requirement to declare activity that falls within a category that could be, foreign interference, but it doesn't have to be. It could be just general influence, which is not in itself a problem, because we allow that in a free society, an open society, right? People want to try and lobby. People want to try and persuade, a company or someone of a view about something. It's needed in a democracy. We just need to know who's doing it, and they need to be upfront about it and who they're operating for.
The origin of those ideas or those agendas that you're carrying.
And a lot of people, I think, it's a bit naive to assume that everyone's going to rush forward and declare what they're up to in the shadows. The reality is, overseas, it's actually prompted a lot of people to come forward. Yeah. And it just makes it a little bit easier in most cases to investigate what is going on. Because failing to do so, that's where the penalty lies, right? Yeah, that's where you get hit.
Yes.
So it's just like customs and immigration forms,
Let's go.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
So-
when it says on the immigration form, "Are you a terrorist?" It's like, well,
What do you think?
Well, people always
never
laugh
said
at that, right? Yeah, they always laugh at that. But the point is, it's not.
It's
that,
not. It's not trying to get.
It's not that people are going to declare that they are. It's that it's then a tool that law enforcement can actually use to prosecute people
say you lied
when they've been evasive. Yeah.
You told us no.
But it was yes.
Yeah.
One thing that sort of indicated where we might be heading in terms of legislative amendments and changes is the budget. Ari, and you did a pretty good job reading through that and breaking down some key pain points. You had a great chat with Andrew Urquhart about it, so
That's right.
people can go watch that if they want. But talk to us about some of these spending lines that have been added. Obviously, there's 30 million for a social media ban. There's 77 million for new police spending, which includes expansions to biometric capturing capabilities. And then there's 1.5 billion for defense, which is pretty significant. We're heading towards, I think we talked about this last time, we're heading towards a more significant percentage of our GDP. And it symbolizes probably growing tensions in the Pacific.
That's right.
And us wanting to be a little bit more robust in that space. But walk us through it. What does this mean? What are we preempting as pillar?
Well, it's interesting with the 1.5 billion for defense. Like it's a lot of money in one sense, but considering what Hegseth was saying to us over the weekend, you think 1.5 billion, that's New Zealand dollars. In American dollars, that's 700 million.
Yeah.
That's chicken change. That's nothing. Like that's one contract for one organization.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, like I've signed up to the Department of War's, daily press releases, and it's like here, this is the most recent one, utilizing firm blah 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 with a shared ceiling of 759 million for supplies and services in support of military SEAL lift commands, diesel engines, blah. So that's a contract for the 4th of June from the Navy.
I thought you were going to say you subscribe to be one of their suppliers. Have you watched that movie War Dogs?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I have watched that movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, all that to say, like, it's fantastic that we're doing this, but we should consider that this is likely to just the start of our spending on defense.
Yeah.
And people
we've not even hit 2% of GDP.
No.
And they're talking about 3.5%.
Which is
the US is talking about that.
They want us to get to 3.5.
Yeah. And so that's a long way to go. But I think the reality is that as things get hotter, that the region becomes more of a contested, area. People are going to go, okay, we better keep upping the budget.
And it's entirely appropriate to spend money on defense. I think it's obscene to suggest that we shouldn't spend money. There are parties who say, "How could, I won't say their name, but someone was like, how dare they spend so much money on defense but not spend any money on arts and culture and music?" I don't know if you saw this clip.
I suppose we could all sing in prisoner of war camps. But
yeah, exactly.
Guys, New Zealand on air. Yeah. New Zealand on air needs more funding.
Did you see the breakdown that I think taxpayers did around Linda Top, the lady who went off her an army?
Yeah, the Toplins.
She's received over the course of her career millions from the government, like millions, as an individual who's done creative arts. They haven't been popular since I was in primary school.
I didn't know who she was until
but
I'm too young, so that's fine.
You've never heard of her,
yeah.
But like the audacity to get up and be like, we're severely underfunded when your whole life has been, and all your projects have been funded off the taxpayers' dollar.
I think, in New Zealand, the culture of a wealthy patron, from the private sector, funding your creative endeavors, which is common in many countries, right? That's just not how we see it here anymore. Like, no, the government pays New Zealand on air or some kind of grant through, our arts sector.
I feel like we can say with some level of integrity and credibility, we don't receive any government funding at Pillar. We have been very blessed and very, very thankful for our private donors, but we had to go to them. I remember this when we initially went out with Pillar. I had these ideas and these plans and these visions, but it was the plan that people appreciated. And the proof that we had done work in another space and we were going to try and replicate that over here and do it even better. But imagine if I was like, I can only do this if the government funds it. Well, it's not valuable then. If the private citizen and market doesn't see value in it, it shouldn't be paid for.
It's been so much,
Yeah, because that's a real vote of support, right?
100%.
You see the actual genuine, Kiwis, just they want to know, they want to help.
Every time we get a $20 donation, a $50, we get a $5 monthly donation from one of our supporters. It doesn't matter what the total value of that is. It's like every time I see that hit the account and Arian and I message about it and report it, That's a vote of confidence.
That's right.
And it reminds me that, like, cool, we're on the right track. We're not there yet, but like, if we keep pushing, like, we're doing something of value. Yeah. Why do they not have the same mindset in this other space of
people work so hard for their money? Like, people have to go out hours and hours and hours to earn money, and then say, "Yeah, I'll give some of that to that.
I'll buy your jersey for $160."
Yeah, I'll buy a Green Party jersey for 100.
Well, it's not capitalism. Neutral undies.
Yeah, your flat front undies.
Wow.
I hate capitalism so much. I'm going to spend $165 on a T-shirt. Yeah, exactly. But it's exactly that. It's a vote of confidence. It's a signal of value.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about the free market. It signals value where there is value, and where there is not value, bugger off.
It's funny because we started this about the budget and defense. No, we're just bashing people on the government's dollar. So anyway, the old budget. So 1.5 billion for defense. That's something that we actually welcomed. We said, hey, 100%. That's great.
Yeah.
But there's two things that were
not so sure about.
Concern.
Not so sure about.
Tell us about it.
One of them is $77 million of new spending that's being passed on for police, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, they've done a fantastic job with their current allowance.
Give them more.
So what's it earmarked for?
What does that mean? Oh, what is it being used for?
Yeah.
Various things. One of them, however, is a biometric identification. It's called the biometric identification capabilities. Mm-hmm. So currently they have their own system, but the suggestion is that that current system is not fit for purpose anymore. It's too old. It's outdated. It doesn't work. We need a new system. Which
the public's just heard about it last year. It was groundbreaking. No, it's not for purpose. Not anyway.
Not good.
Yeah.
So that's what they're putting an undisclosed amount of money in. So part of that $77 million over 4 years. So that's $77 million across 4 years. The $1.5 billion for defense is also over 4 years. $77 million across 4 years, undisclosed amount for biometric stuff over 4 years. And the reason for that is that it's commercially sensitive, apparently. So that's fine. The reason we're concerned with that is because there was a bill that we submitted on to select committee, the Policing Amendment Bill, which gives police incredibly extensive powers with really no limits on those powers. To basically record audio, video, and images of the public en masse, essentially, which is, surprise, surprise, that's biometric information. And so
even they can record you in private if they're in public, eh? They can record you in a private space if they're filming you from a public space. So imagine from the street through your window.
It's crazy.
That's probably my favorite part of that amendment.
That's unreal. And then there's like another element of it where it's like, so in that part, it doesn't say this, but in another part it says, oh, you're not allowed to use like special surveillance technologies to record. So, like enhanced microphones. But it doesn't say that for if you're outside someone's house on a public space, recording a private space. If you want to use, enhanced technologies there.
Yeah. So you can't just pull your curtains.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Well, I mean, they can listen to you. Even if they can't see you.
This is crazy, bro.
And then they're like, but we really need these capabilities. Brother, you have done a horrible job with your current capabilities. It's like,
so that's 77 million. That's obviously in addition to
I can find exactly
the annual operating budget.
Yeah. Let me new spending. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Budget 20. So in light of those powers being given to the police, hopefully it's not going to happen because we submitted against it, and lots of people submitted against it. But you imagine you have the power granted to them by the legislation, and then you have the power granted to them by technology. Boom. You can imagine just how much they can do with all of that, how much data they can take in on their databases, and then basically serious threats to privacy of individuals. And you might not know whether they've gathered information about you. You might not know whether they have your biometrics on a database because they're recording en masse.
But this even goes to, remember when we called them out about the training, about the hate speech and hate crime training, and it was, you get flagged for a non-criminal hate incident, and then you don't even know you're in the system.
Yes.
But then, say you do get in trouble, it would be brought up as sort of a factor.
Yeah, if you want to apply for a job and then they do your police check and it's like so-and-so reported this person without them knowing, but they're on our database.
Like, wow. And it's like they're looking for legislative power or legislative empowerment, and they're looking for, financial backing, but they've already gone way outside the remit outlined in legislation and the direction given by Parliament. they're already doing these things. They're just retrospectively trying to justify it, and that's why we need to push back so hard. And again, you sent the article through this morning that was it the IPCA?
Yeah.
Said and said that police weren't being prosecuted effectively.
Yep.
When they had clearly breached the operational standards and the legal sort of thresholds. So
that's because they're allowed to police themselves to a certain extent.
Slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Naughty boy.
Yeah, but how many stories are we going to see? Like there was an officer in Christchurch who he used the police database to learn about a woman he found attractive who had come in for support after being assaulted.
That's right.
And he pursued a relationship with her. She said it felt like he read all of her psychological evaluation, her case notes, her everything. She felt so violated. That's one instance.
But you'd be completely trapped in a situation like that.
Exactly. It's like serial killer psycho stuff, you know?
Yeah.
There's that other girl who was selling information to her gang member boyfriend. There's, I mean, so they're frontline.
Look, I know.
Sorry, can I just? There's one more. There was the lady who was giving information to the Chinese embassy directly.
The community liaison.
I personally know of a now lawyer who was a cop who used the database to find out stuff for her brother who was going through a custody issue with his wife.
Holy
and she got found out. This now lawyer who had been a cop, but people in those positions much more regularly than people realize abuse
100%.
their position, their privilege.
That's right. That's why you need checks and balances, and
it's not
every power under the sun.
Exactly. It's not that we're hating the police. We need the police, right? But we need a police force that's trusted by the public. Otherwise, they just can't police effectively.
I don't know. I'm pretty close to calling for defunding them in my $165 jersey.
Hey, wait, is BLM making a comeback here?
Imagine you say defund the police, and then it happens, and then someone steals your $165 jersey. Then who do you?
You're
gonna buy another one?
You call
Vigilante. You're gonna go out there with your 4x2.
You gotta ring the sweatshop in China and be like, I need another $165 hoodie.
And I'll tell you what the other side of this argument is as to why maybe it is appropriate for police to be able to record stuff. You look at what's happened in the UK with the Henry Novak, the story, and you have that whole thing recorded on camera, where the young boy's like, hey, I can't breathe, and I'm being
18-year-old, right?
18-year-old boys, and the whole thing is recorded, and now we can look at that recording and say those police officers failed miserably and prosecute them.
But that was specialized, or what?
It's body cam.
Yeah, it's body cam. Specialized surveillance technology that they have and has pretty strict parameters. Doesn't have
exactly. So there is a right way to do it, where it allows you to prosecute and seek justice appropriately and have access to information. And then there's the inappropriate way or the wrong way of doing it, which breaches privacy, trust, and gives extensive powers, and you're essentially doing mass surveillance of everyone. And so you actually do need to strike the balance, because you think of what happened with Henry, and if the video footage wasn't there, and it was just word of mouth, he said, she said, that doesn't enable a strong exercise of justice.
Lastly, in the budget of interest, $30 million towards a social media ban. They've advertised jobs. They've now put $30 million towards it.
$30 million.
Yeah.
I'll do it for 20.
And do you know what's funny? I'll do it for 20. So do you know what's funny is they still haven't outlined how.
No, we don't know anything.
They don't even understand what the parameters are going to be set and the technology. So how do they know it's going to cost $30 million? Who knows? It's probably blow out to about 150 if they actually go through with this. But yeah, what do we think about this?
It goes 6 million next year, 7 million the following year, and then 8 million the consecutive years. So that means
allowing for inflation.
Yeah,
6, 7, 8, yeah.
6, 7, 8. Is something I can find the exacts, but it was around that. 6, 7, and then 8, 8. So that means that if they pass the bill and it comes into effect, let's say 2028, it's going to cost us $8 million a year to run this social media ban. Essentially, that's what they're projecting. Now, there's only one party in this coalition government, which is National, who's said, "Yeah, we want to do it."
Yeah.
Actors said no. I think New Zealand First has said no, although I'm not sure.
We got a message from New Zealand First about it.
All right.
They might start backing off a bit as well. If it becomes e-safety committee.
Yeah, I think so.
First message to ask us for our alternative policy.
Yeah.
And they said, "Have you got an alternative policy?"
Okay.
And I was like, no, because we don't think there should be any policy. Like, we've been clear about what we think should happen. So we'll see what they will. But I'm like, don't swap out their social media ban bill for our social media ban bill, because ours doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Interesting.
So there's that.
I wonder if David Harvey's proposals would be a good fit there, but I don't know.
I think New Zealand First would be against a ban if it means an e-safety commissioner like Australia,
which inevitably will.
ACT have already said that they don't support.
That's right.
What's being proposed.
Yeah.
I think the social media ban is still what we're calling it colloquially, but it's pretty clear that that's not what it is. They've outright said they're moving to an online regulator.
Yeah,
body,
exactly.
Well, and that,
control.
But the trouble is that National and Labour will agree on that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the Greens.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. And then the Greens have a bit more.
No, they literally said that's what they want.
But the Greens said they want an online regulator, but they were careful about social platforms. So the Greens, their argument was like, oh, yeah, we need an internet regulator, but we don't know about a social media ban because that's where our Rainbow Youth and Takatasi and all these people connect. And it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And Chloe's in the house saying, oh, it's not about harms for young people, it's harms for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's why I think that the Greens won't support what Labour and National table will end up agreeing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because I see what you mean.
It won't be for the necessary right reasons.
Yeah.
But
I can't believe that we've all lived as long as we've lived without all of this extra support from the government to protect us from harm. It's amazing.
From ourselves.
Yeah, from ourselves.
Survived.
Like they didn't protect me from myself, from the world, you know.
And I feel sorry for parents that have to actually parent.
Yeah. How do you say no to your child? How do you
didn't have to
when your child's telling you no, but so and so's got it? How do you reject that claim?
Yeah.
How do you fight that rock solid debate?
Yeah. And I don't want to have to watch what my kids watch to know that it's bad for them. I want someone else to do that.
Exactly. No, it's ridiculous.
Sarcasm. It's like, what?
Oh, sorry. I was like,
what's going on?
Like, oh,
was I serious? I don't know. Maybe I was serious.
I never serious. I was sarcastic.
I'm watching Arian's eyes get bigger and bigger as I say that. Are you on our side?
Something deep within him is like, yes, we should have a regime that controls everything.
Yeah.
You're awakening.
You see, Ratatouille when he gives the food to the connoisseur at the end, and he has this flashback to young connoisseur. That's
Arian, you just made a reference to popular culture.
That's right, the kids movie though.
And I get it.
You're growing.
Thank
You're
you.
growing.
Thank you.
Wow, an intersection that we never thought we'd see.
Intersectionality.
Common ground.
Who knew Ratatouille was the key? No, look.
Ratatouille.
So that's the budget. That's the breakdown. That's what we're looking at. That's it's showing where the government is looking to move. Well, should I say the government? It's showing. Yeah, well, it was a government budget. So I can't believe ACT let they get into the budget though.
Wow.
But I guess we're seeing now more and more with things like the FTA and we knew this, but now we know. Yeah, they're not across every detail.
Of course not.
And people who are like, how did you not read this? Like, to be honest, I don't blame them. It is their job. They should have a team of advisors who are combing through these things. I mean, you pulled all these things out after what, 2 readings?
Right, I wish I looked at the whole thing and I just didn't see the social media one. But anyway, yeah. We saw the social media one later.
Yeah.
I was a bit bummed about that.
It also illustrates that even if they are aware of it, democracy requires some compromise in some areas.
Yeah.
And so
of course,
they might let something through at an early stage and then go, but we're not going to support the actual implementation of a social media ban.
Luxon's clarification on nuclear free stance. I didn't see. Is it
ZB, wasn't it?
Did Chris Pink spark that whole discussion?
Yeah.
I missed it.
He was asked about nuclear and whether New Zealand might rethink its position.
Okay. And he opened with, there is no formal or informal discussion about the future of New Zealand's nuclear policy. That was the opening line. And then he was like, but, when it comes to propulsion, it might be handy to have a conversation about it, but there's no...
It's become such a taboo subject.
You know why he said that? He's not an idiot. He's not an idiot.
He's not.
He's like, I'm a common sense thing.
I know.
He's like, this is a technology or a science that we have written off because of perceptions that has evolved a lot.
It's historic.
Yeah.
It's historic. The Americans have their N word because of their history, and we have our own N word because of our history. And our N word is nuclear. You can't say nuclear in New Zealand. If you do, you're a racist.
It's got to come up to anti.
Yeah.
But Pink, actually served on an Australian submarine.
Yeah.
And I think
that's right.
Are they nuclear powered?
I think they are.
Yeah. Well, they have some that are nuclear.
He's still alive.
Oh no, sorry, they don't.
Oh no, they don't.
They're getting them. Sorry,
yeah.
Misinformation from.
But the point being that nuclear propulsion is very much the future of shipping. By the sounds, for the really big shipping companies, they're looking at this as a serious alternative.
That's right.
And hey, you only have to have the Strait of Hormuz happen, somewhere else, basically.
Coming soon to a Taiwan Strait near you.
Yeah, exactly.
Luxon's come out. He said, "We're not changing our stance."
Yeah.
Which is again short-sighted and very. It's sort of an.
It was very political. I think I don't know actually where he sits, but I think there's an element of like, I can't afford to lose votes here, so I'll just go with the status quo, which is we can't.
You reckon if he got him privately, he might be more pro-nuclear?
I don't think so. No. But I think deep down, if presented with the evidence, he would be more willing to come to that conclusion. Yeah, but I don't think he's willing to touch it, which is not to justify the position. But I'm just like, there is no reasonable stance to be against nuclear propulsion. You can be against nuclear weapons,
of course, but
nuclear propulsion or nuclear energy, a different discussion. Exactly. And the legislation that was passed in the 80s or late 80s, early 90s was around nuclear weapons, is my understanding. And that was a different cultural context with the Rainbow Warrior, with the nuclear testing in the Pacific and blah, 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 and the Cold War. That's not the case today. Everyone's building nuclear weapons, including the Islamic terrorists in Iran. So let's have that conversation about energy security, because Jacinda decided to ban.
I mean, we don't gas nuclear energy in this country anyway, because we can be,
and that's what Luxon said. Yeah,
in the long term. But I'm not sure that it's ever going to be something we'll have on our own soil. But is it ships that visit?
What would get us there quickly though, to become fully renewables and to get things online? Would it be pursuing that fully renewable, or would it be the establishment of a nuclear power plant?
I don't think that even those who are for nuclear power plants would actually advocate strongly for it in New Zealand.
Okay.
Just because we sit on a massive fault line.
That's okay. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, Japan, the Fukushima, meltdown is a perfect example.
No bueno.
Because Japan is on the ring of fire as well.
Because that's when Godzilla came up.
Yeah. I remember, I still remember though when that happened and the tidal wave. I mean, we're an island. We're almost identical to Japan in terms of our geography, in terms of
we almost look the same.
Vulnerability. We do.
We do look
the chain of islands.
As a nation.
I never do that again. So, and New Zealand's one of the few countries in the world that could conceivably go almost completely renewable. Using geothermal particularly, right?
Yeah.
So that's a conversation that I've heard coming up a lot more from like not your traditional environmentalists, like your green tree huggers, but
just economically
really educated people who work in the energy sector, who work in sort of
there's some people. Then there's me.
People who have been like oil and gas advocates for a long time are like, well, geothermal's just as effective.
And if there's ever a shortfall of a few percent of our energy needs, then we've got coal. So it's not like
get the coal, get the lignite,
coal.
But no, even just normal coal.
Yeah.
There was a nice Herald article by a friendly columnist who said, if our nuclear-free stance is so worth protecting, we shouldn't be afraid of having the conversation about it.
And
that's true with anything, right?
It's one of those. Totally. It's probably one that we haven't even acknowledged as one of the sacred cows. Like we like to talk about cows, gender and sex. What's another?
Climate change, indigenous rights, international conflict.
Exactly. It sits right alongside climate change, because we went to a conference and we heard an expert talk about how climate change is rubbish, solar power, all these things. Is if you want to love your neighbor, don't get solar panels because you'll push the cost onto them. As people leave the grid, the price of being on the grid increases.
Crazy. Most people don't leave the grid though when they go solar.
Well, he's talking about in Australia.
We will have to have this conversation in the future, in the near future.
Yeah.
So even to just say, the nuclear submarine, hundreds of kilometers on our shores, away from anything. No. It's like, just breathe.
Well, I mean, the one really obvious thing is that nuclear powered subs operate without anyone knowing.
Yeah.
Below the surface. And we don't know who's cruising around our waters right now within our 200-kilometer exclusive economic zone.
Be the CCP.
The Chinese could be using their nuclear subs right now, 10K off our coast.
We wouldn't know.
No. And if there is a conflict in the future, they get hit,
I've got a metal detector.
Even if their sub just breaks down, right, and they have some sort of catastrophe, and it's stuck on the bottom of the sea floor, 10K off our coast, then what? So it doesn't matter that we have.
What do you mean? Then what?
Well, because then we might have an environmental disaster, and there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, because we never knew the sub was there in the first place.
But I'm becoming less and less concerned about environmental disasters because we can just fix them with $165 hoodies.
If we just give more capitalist money
jerseys
to the Green Party, who hates capitalism, but all their MPs are funded by taxpayers who are employed by capitalists and corporate entities who pay corporate tax rates at $60 billion a year.
Doesn't take much to get them on a rant, eh?
The income tax per person. It's just I love hypocrisy. It's just the most beautiful thing.
I would love to see you debate any of the Green Party.
They would cook me. They would actually cook me.
Do you reckon?
I reckon they'd cook me.
I reckon Steve Abel would be up for a vote.
I just want to ask them questions. I don't even want to defeat their positions. Okay. I just want to ask questions.
Mate, how about old Luxon's office? We're in Botany right now. Not far from Luxon's office, actually.
Yeah, it's Stone's Throw.
We should have been there. We should have been there to support him. Someone trying to light his office on fire.
Failed.
Yeah. Right. But is this not crazy? Because everyone, and again, just as generalizations, we don't know who it was. Apparently, they've already been before the courts.
24-year-old man.
It was 24-year-old man. I'm going to make a fairly educated guess and say it was someone who was politically left-leaning.
Oh.
And I'm going to say this. Why are the left always on about political violence? But they're the ones who are like punching old ladies, throwing soup on people, trying to light people's electrics on fire, threatening all sorts of stuff. And then Timothy Paul's like, my partner has to drop me at work. Oh my God, what can I do?
It's mean things that people say. And Luxon's electorate office has been targeted before. I think it was just after the not long after October 7th.
And remember when they wrapped his office with the American flag and the eagle? Yeah. No one is out there.
Red paint's been thrown all over the office before. Yeah.
Simeon's office, something happened, and a bunch of people went and handcuffed themselves to the door.
The priests,
That I can deal with that. You know what I mean? That's not unique in politics.
You know what you do overseas? You know what you do when people glue their hands to things or handcuff themselves to stuff? Is you just send one guy out in high-vis with a chainsaw
and tickle them,
and you let them start it up. You let them start it up, and you watch, mate. They'll get their hands unstuck pretty quick.
It's like what's that place out in King Seat called? Where you go along and you get terrified. You pay them to scare you. Field
horror house or whatever. Yeah.
Is tickling illegal?
Well, if it's not consensual, it's not consensual. Yeah. Is that right? Are you asking hypothetically, or are you?
No, hypothetically. As in, like,
are you?
It's not sexual.
There's some retrospective
listen
cases here.
Well, I think we just need to address this really quickly. Don't tickle someone if they haven't given you permission to tickle them, regardless of whether you think it's sexual or not. Okay?
It's not. Well, I was just thinking hypothetically. One day, I'm an MP, and I stand up for a fantastic policy. And a bunch of people come and handcuff themselves to my office.
Yeah.
I just go say, hey, that's fine. Can I tickle you? And they can't say no because they're handcuffed.
They can say no.
Well, yeah, sorry, they can say no, but they can't.
They can't if you duct tape their mouths.
All right, here we go. What if I don't ask? And I just
if you don't ask, that's
if you just surprise them, if you surprise them and start tickling them, and you tickle them so good, they won't be able to say anything.
Yeah, well, laugh, smile. It's all very good.
Yeah, getting out of bed. This is getting out of
hand. No, okay. Well, I won't be tickling people. I just thought I might win them over with a little smile on their face and a little.
So they hate you so much that they're willing to take a day off their job if they've got a job and come handcuff themselves to the office, and you've won them over by tickling them. Where are you tickling?
Around the neck, armpit. That's probably the most.
That's too invasive. That's too crazy.
Neck?
Yeah, the neck's a very personal space.
What if I use a tickling device? Like a feather
tickling device.
What if I wear a leather jumpsuit with a mask? That's the direction you're heading in. What if it's a whip? No,
what if I tickle them with a whip?
You guys are pushing this. This is getting.
In my basement, the handcuffs. I tickle them with my whip. And that's why you won't be the Minister for Immigration. Anyway,
I'll do something else then. I'll do something non-physical. I'll preach a sermon since they're locked outside my office and they can't move.
That is far. That's far. They've chained themselves there. Although that is a bit of a torture tactic that they employed in like Russian prison camps, and also at the parliamentary protests, they played music.
They did. Yep.
Yeah, they blasted them. That's a bit of a thing. Apparently, if you keep people awake for enough, period of days and. they go crazy and they'll die.
Bay as well.
I'll rethink my tactics. I'll come back to you guys.
Yeah. Ideally, if someone handcuffs himself to your office, work from home.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I'm just going to give you some advice. Way out.
Thank you. This is
Take
good.
a work from home.
This is good. I'll take that.
Don't go.
Don't
think
tickle.
into
Don't. Okay. No,
Because then you just get people who like being tickled showing up to the next day. The first thing you do it. Oh no! Then it's like tooth floss. Keep eating. Oh please, Ari, don't tickle me.
Yeah, the police don't need more money in the budget. They just get you on the KSA.
Oh no!
There's hundreds of people outside the office.
We're relocating Pride this week to our office. No, oh gosh.
Yeah.
What are you?
It's terrible.
Not for them.
Hey guys, solving one problem at a time.
Here
Hey?
you go.
Okay. So that really tickled me, that conversation.
Oh,
Anyway.
Very good.
So the new poll's out.
It is.
There's a new poll. And can we just say, we eat our words. We take it back. Top on 6%. I'm not afraid to admit when we've been wrong. I said they wouldn't get there. It's only one poll. It's only one poll. I did hear a few weeks ago internally they were polling around 5.
Wow.
So this is sort of a confirmation that they're on track somewhere. I don't know where they've taken their votes from. Do you think Labour mainly?
I don't know. They're just such an enigma to me.
They're an enigma.
Enigma.
Yeah,
great word.
That's a great word.
That is a great word. I don't know. I think their whole shtick is, I mean, they're hardcore, extreme progressives, but regardless, their whole shtick is, we'll work with either side and we're a centre party and we go either way.
I'd say they've taken it from Labour, but I mean,
but they're not centre though.
But
they're not centre.
No, they're like extreme left.
We're not here for to be politically divisive. We're not here for these issues. We're here for genuine change policy. Also, I hate New Zealand First and National. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So you're not centrist. Gotcha. You are on the left. You might not be hard left.
They're new left.
They're new,
absolutely.
Which is same as
they're not neoliberal left, which is what Labour has been for a long time, and they're not the Greens left.
But they are close to the Greens.
They have within themselves. They have within themselves the seeds of the Green Party today.
They're just more
polished. I don't disagree.
Yeah,
I'm saying
of
course there's overlap with Labour and Greens, but they are more technocratic.
Yes,
they are. I think the new type of urban liberal left.
That's right. Yeah,
that have emerged in the West.
Wellingtonian bureaucrat.
Yeah, or people in business, but who have a totally different concept of capitalism.
Yeah. We need to get you to do
wrong one.
Yeah, they're not selling $165 hoodies, are they? Anyway, they might be selling like frames for your diploma. Your bachelor's, your master's.
They're selling shots of wheatgrass.
Oh, here we go.
That's the type of new left they are.
So they're on 6%. We've got the Nats up at 30. So they've had a recovery
boost. Yeah.
NZ First still at 11.
Yeah,
they had a slight drop. I think they're at 12 last one. Labour down to 26.
And ACT at 10. It's not on the list.
And did you see? So National drops below 30. I don't have the number in front of me, but I would hazard about 10 headlines over the next 2-3 days about how lowest polling in recent history and the least favourable Prime Minister of all time. Blah blah blah. Labour hits 26. Not a peep. The only commentary I saw was on X. I didn't see any of the major channels commenting on it. And it's a Roy Morgan.
It's a big poll.
It's a big poll.
Also, too, with the New Zealand First 11%, I don't see that as 11%. I think it's always higher.
I think they're going to poll higher.
The real support for New Zealand First is always higher than what they poll.
I agree.
They're not ringing the real NZ First supporters.
It's coming.
You see Elliot from Hobson's is running for New Zealand First now?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Good on him.
Yeah, Elliot. They've got this other guy, Billy Brown, who
he seems cool.
Yeah, he's a construction sort of blue collar Kiwi. Has run major infrastructure projects. Has an incredible first hand knowledge of energy infrastructure. Independent,
very articulate.
Yes, civil engineering, bridge building, all these things. Like he understands. And I saw he did this post the other day. He goes, "It's 4 a.m. I'm off to Tauranga for a meeting, while all your politicians are still in bed with mum." And I was like, this is the sort of guy who we actually do need, regardless of what party he's running for. Someone who's actually got first-hand experience.
Yeah,
that's why I like him.
Why they're still in bed with mum?
Yeah, it was a bit of a jab.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's called incest.
Oh,
wow.
or slap. Nah, jokes.
That's always bad as tickling people without asking them permission. Yeah, I agree. And I think that I think New Zealand First are going to maintain minimum 11%. I think they're going to be up in the teens.
I think so.
You know,
Yeah.
I said 20. I called 20 way back.
Yeah, maybe they might get that high, but I think they'll definitely be in the teens.
I reckon 15. That's my money. My money's on 15.
Your money's on 15?
15 for New Zealand.
I reckon they'll go 21.
We need more. You know, I think there's a sense in the culture where we need some fresh people in that place.
In what place?
In the parliament,
like 80-year-old.
Not
Buddy Liz.
Hey,
as like when you talk about someone like Billy, who's like he's not a career politician.
No.
Like
He's
Hipkins has lived in Wellington his whole life, and you're like, oh, come on, man.
He looks like it, yeah.
Yeah.
So you mean people that have not come from politics? They come from the private sector or wherever.
This is just my personal hot take. I'm just like, you just need people who just lived life and built things here and are not. These
you need a mix though. You need people that know how the system works.
No, when you get old mates standing up and being like, we cannot support, LNG ports and gas and oil exploration and nuclear. And then Billy stands up and goes, well, I've worked all around the world in civil and energy infrastructure. We absolutely do need it. And I'll tell you why. And he can tell you why. And he said, and it's going to cost you this much. Yep. And I trust someone like him who's worked on the tools and on sites every day. Cost us 20 million. You're not going to get $150 million bill at the end of that.
That's right. Yeah.
He was like, yeah, 20 million. And if he gets quotes that are higher than that, he'll be like, oh, good. I'll just get a different quote. It's like that bridge that they quoted for 14 million, and then a farmer got it for 2 million.
Right. Yeah. And you just extrapolate that across
all of the public service. So, Labour, 26. Will they go lower? Will they stay? Will they pump up a bit?
I think National Labour are going to be kind of back and forth, up and down.
Top 6%. I think they'll probably stay there. Have they found their ceiling, or will they go down?
No, I think if they go above 6, that's pretty big. That's crazy.
Pretty,
But for the sake of New Zealand's democracy, I'd like to see some fresh faces in there. Take some votes from the $165 selling T-shirt selling Green Party.
Fair enough. New Zealand First, like I say, I think they get 21. You think high teens, 15?
Yeah, 21 high teens. Yeah.
Any predictions from you? Any?
No, I think similar.
Is ACT coming back? We're going to see a resurgence of the ACT party.
I think the difficulty for ACT is that because they've got very well thought out positions and policies, and I think the difficulty is that they don't pander in the same way that other parties can.
Yeah.
Because of the principle, they're a little less political. I think
New Zealand First gets labelled the populist thing all the time.
Yeah.
But the reality is that other parties play the game as well.
It doesn't want to be popular.
I think ACT is the least populist in that sense.
Yes, I think so.
For sure.
They're just the principle.
Yeah. Whether people agree with all of their principles or not, right? They are very kind of rigid in terms of applying their principle.
I did have this thought the other day around NZ First, because obviously I think they're really hitting their stride. They're resonating with people. It's good. Do you think, though, that given the opportunity, they could run the country?
Who, New Zealand First?
Yeah. Like, could they have a greater share? Obviously, they'll be in a coalition, but could they effectively do it?
Look, Winston Peters is an expert negotiator, especially when it comes to coalition deals. He could well get a power sharing arrangement at the top. I don't think that this time around, if they get the kind of votes they seem like they might, then he wouldn't settle for anything other than a power sharing arrangement. But like the Israelis did when, with Naftali Bennett and a few others shared power, they took turns 1 year at a time being prime minister.
That's right.
So I think that could conceivably happen. Luxon would be absolutely loath to do it, but he may not.
He'll move on though. If that was the decision, he would be the guy on the negotiating table, and if that was what he came away with, he would move on pretty quickly. I think
so.
Yeah, but Winston Peters is not getting much younger, is he? So
his last crack. It's his last crack,
and he would want to be prime minister for the first year if that was the case.
Yeah.
Before he, yeah. Good on.
Anyway, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Still a long way out. November 7 is a long way away.
A week is a long time in politics.
5 months.
Many, many weeks to go.
5 months. It's crazy, yeah.
20 weeks.
Almost 5 months to the day.
June, July, August, September, October. Almost 5 months to the day.
Thanks for verifying that. got this email yesterday. You saw the email from Chris.
Oh,
should I say?
gosh.
Well, I'm not going to say Chris's last name, but I got this email from Chris. And it was like, hey, just read your document, your identity doc. Bunch of waffle, but it was good. So I don't know whether that was a compliment or not.
Did I read the email?
Yeah, read it verbatim. Read it for us.
Does it support us? Here we go.
Yeah, read it out. So Chris emails. Chris says.
This is the first email, or do you want me?
The
very first email.
Yeah.
I've read your PDF, and I must say, a bunch of vague waffle is excellent. So, good thing, bad thing, I don't know.
Yeah, compliment.
As definitions of all things seem to be in flux in this digital reformation, can you answer a few simple questions? 1, what is your stance on the definition of a woman? What is your position on treaty and tangata whenua? 3, what is your position on the neo-right being denied by venue management? No idea what that is. 4, do you have any comment on Karl Popper's idea about tolerating intolerance? Chris.
So that's Chris's email. So I responded.
Yeah. I was going to say with number 1, Stuart Nash. Number 2, yes, there are Māori people in this country. And number 3.
Well, I'll tell you what I said. I said, thanks for reaching out. I'm not sure if this is a compliment or not, but regardless, I appreciate you taking the time to get in touch. Because you don't want to assume that you're off to a bad start. And I said, the thing you read, it just simply outlines who we are, what we do, our core freedoms and values. I can give you more substantial answers on current social and cultural issues. So I said, what's our definition of a woman? I said, adult human female. Biologically, a woman is an adult with an adult human female with XX chromosomes. So that was the first thing I said. Second thing was tangata whenua treaty. I said, we believe equality under the law. All New Zealanders are entitled to equal treatment regardless of where or to whom they happen to be born. We don't believe in dividing our country based on who your ancestors were. So I feel like that's pretty clear. Then they asked about, neo-right being denied from venue. So it's like Stephen Molyneux and that sort of question. So I said, well, it's 2 parts. Depends. Is it a publicly owned or privately owned venue? If it's privately owned, they're fully within their rights to decline use. If there's a breach of contract, that's slightly different. If it's publicly owned, then there is an obligation that they would host events because they're publicly funded.
That's right.
And people have a right to access information, to impart information, and to pursue information of any kind. And then finally, they said Karl Popper's thing, and I just talked about how we don't support a culture of cancel culture, and we believe in the context of ideas that sunlight is the best disinfectant. What else I say? Consequence. We don't believe in the slogan that there's freedom of speech, but not freedom from consequences. The question is who is imposing those consequences. And what else did I say? That's sort of what I said. I said hopefully these answers are to your liking, and if not, happy to be challenged or receive feedback. Arian, would you please read Chris's response to that email?
Chris replies, says, so basically a covert right-wing supremacist org. No thanks. People are diverse beyond simple XY, XX divide. Ask any biologist.
Any biologist.
So I'm waiting to contact a biologist just to double check that. I'm still figuring out what a woman is. Your response regarding tangata whenua and the treaty ignores 150 years, open bracket, and ongoing, close bracket, systemic racism. Now, making our tangata whenua having the worst economic and health outcomes. Slightly racist, but anyway. Publicly owned venues are under no such obligation, and I reject your attempts to redefine the law.
They are obligations.
I don't think you read the law, but that's okay. You're naive or duplicitous. Oh, wow. Big words that I could say. Wow. All right, she's beat me there. Take on Popper is destructive of free speech. Okay. I will continue to support Civil Liberties Council. Didn't ask. I remain your humble enemy.
Cool.
Chris.
I remain your humble enemy.
Chris is a woman, by the way.
So I just said, thanks, Chris. Appreciate your passion. As you know, we believe in freedom. So it's good to see you exercising your rights or exercising your freedom to disagree and hold your own views.
All the best.
All the best.
Seoul.
So if you have anything you want to let us know, feel free to email.
That's so funny. That was so interesting.
We read them all. We respond to them all. Wow. We appreciate them all. Even if you're emailing us to say that you'll remain our humble enemy.
If you're a biologist, please do get in touch. I need to ask if people are diverse beyond simple XY and XX divide.
We'll ask any biologist. We'll ask any. Yeah, there's no debate, obviously. It's confirmed.
That's fact.
Anyway, we'll close the episode with that bit of feedback from Chris. We've got a meeting now about the Fit Bill. So the next time you hear from us or see us, not the next time, but hopefully we'll have some exciting news around the Fit Bill or at least an update. Any final thoughts?
No.
Cool. I've got no final thoughts. Thanks, Chris, and everyone who emails. Appreciate you. To our sign off, man. Take it away.
Thank you all. If you haven't purchased your $165 sweatshirts from the Green Party, please look into that. If you want to like my comment on the post, I'm getting ratioed. Let's fix that. Otherwise, thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Stay in touch. Stay in tune. We'll see you soon. I'm going to go at this. It's like I've done 30 episodes.
It's only taken you 8 months.
Yeah.